Hello, and welcome to the NSA XY Virtual Lunch for May 23rd. Today we are talking about how to build community, how to get interest and enthusiasm before convention, at convention, and after convention. And we have several people to start us off today, and hopefully we'll be joined by some others, but we're going to go down the line and just introduce ourselves. I'm Liz Green. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm a women's wellness speaker, and we're going to start with Dale this time.
Thank you all very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm reporting to you live from beautiful Downers Grove, Illinois, where it's always double coupon day.
Awesome. Mary, you're up.
Hi, it's Mary Kelly. I speak about leadership. I'm an economist and therefore the biggest nerd on this call. And I write business and leadership books and anything else that anybody will pay me for because I'm just that way. I'm coming to you live from my office here in Colorado Springs.
Awesome. Next up is Phil.
Hello, everyone. I'm Phil Gerbishak. I'm also in Wisconsin, though not super close to Eliz, maybe a few miles. I work with salespeople to help them sell more using social media, and I am coming to you, I guess, dead from the Hudson Business Lounge here in beautiful downtown Milwaukee.
All right, and Tom.
My name's Tom Singer. I'm coming to you from my car in Austin, Texas. I'm not driving. I'm just sitting in a Starbucks parking lot. But I do a program called The Conference Catalyst, and I'm having a good time most days.
Awesome. And you have your air conditioning on because it's hot there.
Because I live in Austin, Texas, and it is almost June. Yes, I am sitting with my air conditioner on.
Yeah, well,
because if I died live on the Hangout from being cooked, that would suck for all of you.
That would probably sell, though.
All right. So clearly, one of the ways that we could build community before convention is to participate in the NSA XY Virtual Lunch because this is fun. But I want to talk about some of the other ways that we could do that. The national organization has been really great this year in putting the community group and PEG opportunities right on the main schedule, which is great. Does anybody have stuff coming up? Now, Dale, I know you're part of Cigar Peg. Any plans that you want to share about Cigar Peg this year?
It's going to be a heck of a party. We have the roof of one of the top nightclubs in San Diego, and it's going to be it's just going to be a wonderful party. If you're not a member of the Cigar Peg, please join. No smoking is necessary or even allowed anywhere anymore, and it just we just have that moniker because we've had it for like 20 years, and all we do is raise money for charity, which is a beautiful thing. One party at a time.
Right, and for people who might be new to NSA or new to the convention, you have stuff that goes on all the days, and then you have the big party. What is it?
Right, yeah, we have a suite at the hotel which all of the members are invited up to every evening, and it's just a big hangout and party and free liquor up there. And then we have a meeting, although last year's meeting didn't last very long, but we do have an official PEG meeting, and then we have the big party on, I think it's Monday night.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, yeah. It starts on Monday night, but it really gets going Tuesday night, so...
And the Tuesday night party is out away from the hotel.
Yes, it's on a rooftop at one of the restaurants or clubs in the gas lamp district. It's a very short cab ride or a quick walk. It's not going to be very far away at all.
Cool. And you want to talk a little bit about the fundraising that you do?
About the what?
The fundraising.
Oh, the fundraising. All of our money goes to, a lot of it goes to the NSA Foundation, and then there are other charities that we are involved with, Laura's Hope, the Cardiac Arrhythmic Foundation, the I think even the Cancer Society. There's a list of different charities that we give the funds to. But every year it's like we crank up like around $60,000-$70,000. We make more money at the Cigar Peg than they make at the foundation dinner.
Well, Tom's going to be part of that this year, so hopefully, the foundation will catch up to the Cigar Peg. I just wanted to jump on into that. Starting last year, and thank you to Ed Rigsby for all the effort and the support, we brought in a couple guys, Wounded Warrior folks, and paid their way, their hotel, their air, registration, things like that. And we're doing that this year. The guy's name is Kevin Schaefer. He was burned over 90% of his body in the Pentagon attack, and he is the person that the Cigar Peg is sponsoring this year. So looking forward to having him there as well. And if you have not done the Cigar Peg before, this is mostly for people who might be watching. This is the party after the party. It's the party. So after all the events, you go up to the Cigar Peg suite and hang out with your friends and make friends and get to know people.
I just worked with Kevin Schaefer at this thing that I did at the Poop Hotel. He was brought in as a speaker. Very, very nice guy.
He's good,
unbelievable
right?
story. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm responsible for picking that person, and if they're bad, that would be bad.
Yeah. No,
We had Dan Nevins last year, and I've got a total crush on him. I hope his wife doesn't watch this, but he's fantastic.
That's great. I didn't realize that Cigar Peg did that. That's a really neat thing.
A lot of people don't realize it. And then the great thing about it was last year, the DJ and the sound guy, both at the event, were both Marines. And so that's why I told Ed last year I wanted to handle that, because I knew I had guys in Philly, so I got a guy and brought in the Marines. So the DJ was a 53 crew chief, that's a helicopter, and the sound guy was a pilot. And then this year for the foundation, I talked to Stacy, and Stacy's been absolutely fabulous because we're doing this in San Diego, and we are doing part of the foundation dinner funds collected as well is going to the Warrior Project, which helps families who, there's a lot of projects. The Wounded Warrior Project is pretty well funded right now, but this is something where people, all of a sudden you get injured and you're out of the military suddenly, but you got to make a house payment and you need groceries, and it provides a pretty healthy dose of help. So that's one of the other things the foundation's doing. So I'm just grateful that people are jumping on board with some military support.
Speaking of that, I know that there was sort of a casual group. I'm chair of the community groups next year and helping plan out this year. I know that there was a casual group that got together for kind of meet in the bar of people who have served in the military. Do you guys?
Yeah, there's a group. Oh, who else is that? There's a group called the Speaking Eagles, and it started off as pilots, but it's now open to anybody. And so that I'm not exactly sure when that's going to. That was a very loosely gathered group of people. So it's the Speaking Eagles group. But it would be nice if that was actually on the schedule.
Well, I think I'll look. I think they have a session during the pegs on Sunday, but if you guys wanted to have, there's a space for happy hours. If you guys wanted to have a designated happy hour time, we could absolutely set that up.
I am never opposed to a happy hour.
You know, we know that about you, Mary.
Never met a happy hour she didn't like. Yeah.
And we like that about you, Mary.
And I'm concerned that now it's going to sound like the only way we build community at NSA is with a drink in our hand. But
that is totally not true for a lot of the people who go.
Yeah.
But no good story ever started with, there I was eating a bag of carrots.
Let's start that this year.
That's right. A rabbi and a priest walk into Whole Foods is not the way
That's awesome.
You realize Dan is going to use all of this at convention. Everything we say now is subject to
taking notes.
As I've gotten to know Dale through these Hangouts since he's participated, the downside is I'm now scared shitless that I could show up somewhere. Not knowing Dale used to mean you were safe.
Yeah. On Tuesday, morning when Dale, you did your wrap up after I was on the panel with Nito and the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
People were holding my hands. I'm like,
what's he gonna say?
Having Dale around is kind of like having a 4-year-old around. You're just never sure what's going to fall out of their mouth.
and that's,
I love you, Dale.
yes, we love you very much.
Yeah, I know. You can buy love.
You can buy love.
I have to do that now anyway. It's nothing new for me.
It's a good idea. Lease rather than buy. Lease always.
Oh, leasing, yes, yes.
So, staying on the same networking and through having a drink in your hand, there are lots of opportunities for different happy hours hosted by different community groups. I know Black NSA is having something, the Diversity Peg, the Rainbow Speakers, Second Act, NSA XY is doing something. They're all listed on the main schedule, which is great, but it's a good opportunity to go and find out what different groups are doing, and you know, the point is to try to find a group that you fit with, a home, so you feel comfortable and find people to hang out with. Tom, I know you're sort of an expert in this networking deal. Do you have some thoughts about how we could individually or as groups connect with people before we get there so we have a good experience?
Sure. Well, beforehand, you know, we talked about the cigar peg. Let me just give a little quick plug for the foundation dinner, because when I first got involved with NSA and went to my first conference, I sort of had this, and I don't know where it came from, if someone told me this or if I made it up in my own head, which I do for a lot of facts that aren't actually facts, was that, you know, there was the cigar peg and there was the foundation dinner, and you did kind of either or. And the truth is it's not a choice. They're very different events, and they serve different causes and the same cause, because it raises money for the foundation also. But the foundation dinner over the years, I mean, I kind of, when I first showed up, thought, well, this was Grandpa's NSA, right? I don't go to the foundation dinner because I'm young and I don't have a lot of money, and it was $150. And when I started going to the foundation dinner, I found out that it's a lot of really good camaraderie. And so I wouldn't rule out doing, even if you're going to Cigar Peg, I wouldn't rule out doing the foundation dinner. It's on a different night, and it is a lot of fun. It's not going to be quite as maybe cutting edge as it was last year. But when they had the roast, and maybe like people were making out on stage and some things were said. However, they are working to have it be more of a tasting, have it be a lot of fun, and we're working to have. Last year they had record numbers, at least in recent years, in attendance, and we're working at beating that number from the year before. So we're really working hard to get a lot of people to show up, and it's probably going to be a lot of fun, even if no one curses from the stage this time.
Can I make a plug on that too?
Of course.
I've gone to the foundation dinner the last couple of years. A couple years ago, the foundation dinner was very poorly organized, and that turned a lot of people off. That has been fixed. It is now organized, it is structured, it is planned, it's fun, it's all that. I came from the North Texas chapter, and they always pay for their members. Well, the last couple of years they pay for their members to go. And so now, one of the things that works in our chapter, it's worked really well with John Cilio, who some of you know is our chapter president. If you say North Texas does this, then he goes, well, if they do it, then we've got to beat them at that. So Colorado, if you go to the foundation dinner and pay the full $150, we are waiving your chapter fees for the next year. So Colorado is planning to be the biggest group of people at the foundation dinner. So come on, chapters out there, bring it, bring it.
Excellent. Excellent. That's great. That is great. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And going back, Eliz, to your question that you originally posed to me is how can you connect? You know, one of the ways when people go to conferences, they say the number one reason they go is for networking opportunities. And those of us who are involved in NSA know that it's all about the people. And yet then people blow off going to watch the keynote, or they blow off going to the foundation dinner, or going to Cigar Peg, or going to the opening session. If you're not participating with other people, you're not actually part of the community. So one of the best things you can do is get your butt to the events. And that means, you know, maybe it costs a little extra for some of them, but when you're there, we're experiential beings, and sharing experiences is how we build friendships. And so you got to be at these things to make new friends.
Love that. And let's see, it looks like Pegeen has joined us.
I am here, but you're not watching me.
Okay.
I just came back from working out, and hell no. Oh, it's so funny. I'm looking for like a baseball cap, a hood that I could put over my head, something, because hell no.
But we love you all the same.
Yeah, so yeah, you just go with that little image that you may see of my picture over there. That's exactly how I look right now.
So we were talking about building community at convention and before convention, and I know you have a group that is having an event at convention. Yes.
Yes. So I am the organizer, I guess is the right word, for something called the Hispanic National Speakers Association group, also known as the Latin American Association of Professional Speakers, which is, and really what it is anybody that does any work in Latin America or Spanish-speaking countries, and anybody that is of Hispanic descent. Everybody gets together. We usually have, this time we'll actually have a room, because usually what happens is we're not really good at planning things. So we usually start out and get there and going, hey, are we going to get together? Yeah, let's get together. I don't know, let's get together. And then we kind of hijack a room. This year is the first.
Peggy, what if you just like margaritas?
Well, usually I have tequila. I mean, that's really how I started the chapter in New York. I had lots of tequila, lots of salt, and tacos. Well, I knew that if I had tequila, everybody would come, which is what exactly happened. So we'll have that again this year. We'll have some tequila, I'll have some sangria, I'll have some stuff like that over there, just because I want people sitting there. But usually what happens is everybody sits around. It's fascinating, especially if you have ever or want to do work in Latin America. There are some really big speaker bureaus that do come to the meeting, and they run some of the biggest speakers bureaus throughout Latin America. And I know that from this past meeting, they ended up having a forum in Mexico City where they showcased some of the newer speakers that they brought in. So they had Ron Carr there, and a couple of our keynote speakers that are going to be this year were brought in, and it came out of that meeting. So it's good, it's great, it's awesome. I will tell you, I heard you guys talking about the cigar peg and all that. I only wish I had known about some of these things, or I knew of them, but I didn't participate in them for a long time, and shame on me. You get to see people in different contexts and really get to engage in a different way. And actually, the first year that I went to the cigar peg was when the Wounded Warriors were in town. Do you remember when they came a couple of years ago for the first time? And they had asked me, would I come? And I went, yeah, let me come. I'll help. You know, I'll be there to kind of be supportive of you. And that was really one of the first times, and it's really awesome. And Michael is always a bartender, and it's just a way to see people in a different light and really appreciate some stuff. And I won a couple of the auctions that have made a huge difference in my business. So I would do that.
Cool. Awesome. I think I like what you said about the seeing people in a different environment, in a different way. Because we can be very focused when we're at our concurrent sessions or we're rushing around trying to get all the things that we want to get done at convention, but taking that time to, actually get to talk one-on-one or in a small group and just be you and relate is really important. Now, Phil, I know you're relatively new in the convention experience. You share some of your insight?
Sure. Well, one of the things actually, Pegeen, your working out made me think of this, and that is last year we organized a little run walk in the Philadelphia area. So thinking about that, other people need to exercise while we're at convention. So if that's something you want to do, picking a morning or two where we go out, walk or run. Last year we got to check out the Rocky Steps and the Philadelphia Museum of Art. That was really cool. I did that actually with Tom and Chip Lutz and Meg and Patrick. So we had a great time. That was really fun. So that was one way, and that was a smaller group. So for those who maybe are intimidated by the massive amount of people in Cigar Peg, that's pretty cool. And then the other thing that I did is I tried to see who was going and connect with them ahead of time on social media a little bit to find out. So either in the NSA chat hashtag, or in the last year was NSA 13, now this year will be NSA 14, looking on the Facebook group to see who's going, and then also in the XY, in the big NSA group as well as in the XY group, and just paying attention to that and trying to connect and then to ask questions, because last year, as a first-timer, I had no idea what to expect. I mean, I've been to a lot of conventions otherwise, but I've never been to an NSA convention. So getting a little bit of flavor for that ahead of time certainly helped. And then I was able to participate in the Learning Lounge. That was probably my best opportunity there to really get connected on a smaller scale, because in the general session there's so many people there that it's really easy to get swallowed up. I tried every day to find people, and the only people that I could ever find was at XY group because we had a big sign-up. So that was fun. Begin, nice earbuds there. So
I think I could show my mouth. Actually, my husband gave me this baseball cap. He said, "Here, you could look like my buddy over there, Don, whoever you are, Urban." Now I could look like you. I'll be your sister.
Oh, Dale.
Dan?
You talking about me? Yeah, my name's Dale. I'm sorry I didn't put it on the screen. I should have.
Oh, stop. It's my fault.
So,
one of the things I wanted to just say something about this all is one of the lessons that I've learned that I didn't take action of. I guess I always learn from the mistakes that I try to share my mistakes so nobody has to repeat the mistakes. And one of the mistakes that I didn't do was ever go prepared with some questions that I wanted really answered. And the last couple of years I've been able to be in the Millionaires Round Table, and it's fascinating. Everybody there comes with questions. They actually come prepared to not only share, but really, really hone down and get some answers to grow the business. And I think that I can look back and definitely say that I so think that everybody else I used to think that everybody else had their stuff together, that I didn't go prepared with questions because I didn't think that my questions were important enough. And I think that for growing the business, it's really, really critical that you have some of the questions that you really want to ask. You want to find people that know what they're doing. I found for myself that I had to be very careful about who I was asking questions from. So I'll share one of the techniques that I found out later on. The way that I knew who to ask questions was, I would always say, "How's your P&L?" And what they would say is, my petunias and leopards are doing great. They would make up stuff because they didn't know what a P&L was. And we're speakers. So I really figured out that I would say, "How are you doing? How's your P&L?" And if they could say to me, "Hey, that the margins are down," or whatever, then I knew that I could talk to them and ask the questions that I needed to do, because everybody's hawking something and everybody's saying something, but I wanted to really learn from the people that were actually making business, and the basic way is, do you know what a P&L is? So that's become my little trick, and I just wish now I will always come with questions that I want asked, answers to, about running the business.
So the other thing I learned about going to an NSA convention is, so a couple years ago I did a little experiment, and Eliz has heard this before. I decided to pretend I didn't know anybody the opening night and the first morning. So I kind of hid from my friends, and I just sort of stood around. I made eye contact. I kind of smiled, not the creepy smile, but just like the new guy. But I didn't have a little VIP thing on or anything. I just stood there, and I did it the first night and the next day to lunch as a little experiment. And not one person out of 1,000 people came up and introduced themselves to me. So as much as we talk about we're such a friendly group and people go out of the way, the truth of the matter is you have to take initiative. It is a very friendly group. People are nice, and Pagin's right. You know, you have to find the people who are actually running businesses. But everybody's really nice. But if you don't take the initiative to start a conversation, no one's going to walk up to you. It was really fascinating to me. And then that year, the president got up at the opening thing and said, oh, we're the most friendly group. If you're standing around, people will walk up and talk to you. And I had already done an experiment the whole afternoon where nobody did, and I continued it the next day and nobody did. So we talk a lot about that. Oh, we're the friendliest group in the world. We're still an association. We're not that much different than any other group. And if you want to make connections, you've got to take ownership of walking up and talking to people. And that's why having questions prepared, I think Pagin's right. If you go in with a purpose and ask people about their business, you're going to learn something. If you stand around hoping you're going to get discovered, even for a conversation, you're going to be lonely.
Hey, I have a question for Dale.
Oh, go ahead, Pagin.
I'm here.
Dale, I have a question for you, because you're like the rock star. You know, everybody, you kind of walk in and you have a little entourage, and well, you do, because I used to be really intimidated by you and your entourage. It's like, oh, they're sitting in the back. Oh, it's the bad boys, you know. So what do you do when you go to a convention? I mean, you know, do you get hit on all the time with people asking you questions, or, you know? I mean, I know you hope to get hit on, but I mean, you might get, you know what I mean.
Well, it's like, Tom, I believe you should wear a nice smile and not a goofy one. You know, something that really wants people to come up and talk to you. And I don't get approached by that many people. I think they're afraid of me, and that's a very good thing, because I don't have a lot of people coming up to me and asking me questions, because they probably think that I don't know the answer.
No, they're just afraid that you're going to talk about them on the platform.
Beg your pardon?
They're just afraid that they're going to make it into your program.
Well, then they're idiots, you know. So who wants to talk to an idiot, anyhow? But not many people ask me questions. Every so often somebody will ask me a fairly reasoned question, but for the most part, it's like, whoa, man, like, you know, what do you do every day? And how do you think up that stuff? And I tell them, you know, drugs and tequila. Come back to me after you've had a session, you know.
Do you ever have people saying to you, don't hurt me on the stage after the keynote presenter? Do they come up to you and like beg?
Yeah, people say, yeah, please be gentle, and I tell them, well, then don't say anything stupid. You know? If you don't want me to make fun of you, don't put the bait out there.
Easier said than done.
Mary, you were saying something.
Yeah.
Oh, so with Tom's experiment, so what I got from that whole thing was go find people who are desperately trying to be alone and bring them a Tic Tac.
I had showered. I had brushed my teeth. My hair was combed. I had
Can't convince me, Tom.
But that is one of the reasons that these community groups and the PEGs and all of these things exist, so that people will feel welcome. People have a place to go. Unfortunately, in many ways, I think they've been sort of a well-kept secret, and hopefully that'll be better this year. But let's talk about some ways that we could invite people in, get that excitement before we get to convention, because once we get there, it's sort of like this crazy sprint to the end. It's very busy. But if you know that on Tuesday at 5 o'clock is the time slot for your group, there are ways of letting people know that that's the case and how they can get. And I think Cigar Peg does a nice job of being out in front and letting people know that the opportunity is there. But let's go back to Phil for a minute. I know the hashtag for the convention is NSA 14, which you can use in many places, not just on Twitter. Chat about that. And NSA does have the goal of making NSA 14 trend during the convention, so we'll see if we can make that happen.
Sure. So I think beyond Twitter, right, if we talk beyond that, really think about search and how you might get found. So write blog articles, check out Instagram, do some LinkedIn searches. If you're a LinkedIn publisher and you have that, include that in your headline. You can get found and set up either a Google alert search or use mention to see people that are talking about that. And hopefully what that does is that gets you connected to one more person, to Tom's suggestion of kind of not knowing anyone. I get that you might want to do that experiment, but I'd encourage you that if your goal is not to meet anyone, please don't go to convention. Just buy the recordings. No, I mean really. Right, because you're missing like 80% of the important stuff there. So, so do some search, find out, see who wants to go, and then remember that a lot of people that are going to be there are probably not going to be socially adept on social media. Though Dale would probably say in person too. So I won't go there, but think about that and think about who's there. Who do you want to meet? Not just people who are your session leaders, if you will, but also just attendees, and be ready, be ready to show up early, stay late, and get connected. And as you find people, ask them how they're connecting. Ask them how they're going to be using social media, writing blogs, doing Hangouts like this, whatever it is that they're doing. Find out what they're doing, and then get connected with them. It's one at a time, because if you try to scale that up and try to meet 1,000 people, good luck.
Well, right. Phil brings up a really good point. Sometimes people show up and all they want to do is stalk the celebrities. They want to go hang out with Dale or whoever the speaker is on the main stage, or Brian Tracy. I actually had somebody watch somebody body slam someone out of the way so they could sit next to Brian Tracy 2 or 3 years ago. And it was like they ran and just pushed somebody out of the way, and it was like, Brian's a nice guy, but I don't think we should injure somebody to get there. So
hey, that's what I did try to get to Pegeen last year.
I know. I'm still bruised from when you threw your elbow. But
we're gonna have a Congo line of everybody here, that's right here, right now, just saying, okay, who can we meet? Dun 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 dun. Who do we meet? Dun 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 dun. Who do we meet? And Dale, you lead it.
So I think the thing people have to remember is while the uber successful and the celebrities are all nice, great people, the power of being at convention comes from your peers. So the smartest thing that people can do is find people who are like them and begin to make long-term, mutually beneficial, lasting friendships.
I just want to jump in on something with that, because I think that one of the segments of NSA that we tend to lose, and that is, I think it behooves every member to really reach out and connect, and certainly that we have to try to educate members to do the same for themselves, is that member that's been in there between 2 to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
That 2 to 7 year member is the one that we tend to lose a lot. Once they go after 7 years, they've already made all their friends, they're hanging in, they're not going to give up already. But that 2 to 7 year is a year where you no longer have your VIP little button on. Not everybody is welcoming you. Like you said, Tom, people will basically ignore you because they're looking over your shoulder of who can be your buddy. And when we want to start engaging people, we have to come up with clever ways to do that engagement. One year for myself, I went to a gift store and I bought those little stickies. And I think I bought pirate stickers, so that if I met you, I was giving you a pirate sticker to put on your board, and it became like this thing of, oh, did you get one of her pirate stickers? And I didn't know anybody. I just found the coolest pirate sticker I could find, just so that I can see you got one of my stickers. I may not remember your name, but I'm trying to connect with you. Like Dale just has shot glasses for people to walk around with. I think I'm going to use it. I think I'm going to say that if Dale hands down, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of shot glasses, and Dale, you hang it out, then they have to come to my Hispanic event to get the tequila to fill up the shot glasses.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Oh, that's so smart.
That way they have to talk to Dale, and they have to come to me.
That's right.
And then we'll have an induction ceremony. I'll get you one of the hats with the 2 tequilas and see how much can you really drink.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
That. Oh, God, the devious head is coming out now.
You know, but I'm keeping some of the glasses so me and my friends who aren't Hispanic can come in and drink tequila.
Oh, I'm telling you, we will do an induction ceremony.
You're an honorary Hispanic now.
I love it.
Right.
We'll have Dale's coming to speak in South America. We're going to have to carry him. Oh, God.
Well, and some of the ways that we've, for the XY group, have let people know what's going on is we'll put up Facebook invitations, Facebook events for the individual sessions. So now it's better now with the sessions actually listed on the main schedule. And I don't know if you guys have gotten the convention app yet on your phone. It is really pretty cool. You can see. I know that Peggy and I are going to a session together because her picture showed up when I signed up for it. I mean, it's really very cool. But doing a Facebook invitation is a great idea. Talking about what you have planned in the main Facebook page. Any other? Do you want to hang out like this? Any other ideas? Anybody? About how we can get people to be aware of the events that are going to be going on?
Personal asks work. If there's somebody you want to meet, pick up the damn phone or make a phone call or make an email, right? Or send a tweet or connect on LinkedIn or find them on Facebook and ask, hey, Dale, I'd like to connect with you at convention. And, of course, he can still say no because I'm crazy. But, right, it might be a good connection. But you put that out there, or you even just put, I'm looking to learn this, and I don't see that there's a session on this. Perhaps we can meet out in the hallway, and we can talk about this.
Right. That was actually, Chris Clark-Epstein did a hangout for the Second Act Speaker Group, and her suggestion was for somebody newer, when approaching somebody who's well established, to have a specific question and say, hey, I need to know about how to write a book proposal. Who do you suggest I talk to? And then find out who they think is the expert in that and say, could I use your name? Could I say, Chris sent me, she thought that you would be able to answer my question, which I thought was a really good suggestion.
I agree. I think that is a good suggestion. And asking permission is always better than just forcing yourself in. And a warm connection is always better than a cold one.
Absolutely. And true, we should also be looking around and seeing who is pretending they're Tom and standing off to the side and needing to be invited in.
Tom makes me feel so entrapped. I feel like it was entrapment. I mean, Tom, if this is your way to get sympathy and get all of us to buy you a drink, I mean, I think it probably worked.
Probably.
Do you need a group hug? Because you might need a group hug.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, he left!
He left. All right.
Jeez.
I'm not going to use all my fingers giving you a group hug.
That's it. Mustang Sally has left the building.
All right. Well, we have just a few minutes left in our time together. What are you most looking forward to for this year's convention?
Hugging Dale.
Uh,
Oh, thanks. I'm looking forward to the noodles. Can't beat the convention for good food.
Am I on?
yes, you're on.
Oh, good. I am I'm really looking forward to learning this online marketing stuff.
Mm.
I am on a mission to just move the business online and do this kind of thing. I mean, thank you so much for doing this, because every time I'm on, I'm feeling more and more comfortable doing it.
Good.
You know, and trying to figure out how to do it so that I really look gorgeous. Just
Step
clearly.
one, go gym first, Pagine.
What?
Don't go to the gym first.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the first hint.
Clean the office after an event.
Number 2.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Clean the office after the event. But I'm looking to that's what everything in my mind about this event is going to be about doing that. Obviously, I have a lot of meetings that I'll have to go to because of the board stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I'm going to be like a baby, soaking up information about how to do online, how to build some lists so that they're more targeted and bigger, that I can, there are some people that I want to meet with. That one guy has 3 million people on his list, and he can put out something within 2 minutes, and they sell a whole slew. I want to learn about, that's what I really want to learn, how to convert them into not just being on my list, but convert them into sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my goals. And actually, one of my goals is to buy Dale a drink.
All right.
Oh, God bless you. That would be swell. I really would appreciate that.
I really, it sounds silly, but because of being on this now, because of us being here, I want to buy you a drink.
Okay, well, we're just talking. Next Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central, we're going to do another episode of Drinks with Dale right here on Google+. So I'll send you an invitation to that. But I appreciate that. I drink 14th century Cavassier, and only by the bottle. So
well, that's really good. You're going to get the cheapest tequila, and we'll show you what it's really like to have a party.
I'm very interested in learning what you do, Pagine, because I want to take everything online. I don't want to ever my goal is to never get on another airplane and just do everything from here. And so, yeah, I'm going to be looking for other people that, I mean, Terry Brock is a font of knowledge in this thing, but now it's time to learn how to monetize it.
Right, and that's the thing is that I know people that, I really want to look at the monetization of it. I actually shared, because of this, I have to give kudos to this Hangout. So yay! This meeting. Because of my own experience, and Dale, you sharing about your bar experience, I did a program and I was sharing about it. I was sharing about how we all had been talking on here. Dale, I was sharing about how you had the drinks, because I was speaking to a conference of a global corporation that they were struggling with how do they build their teams of connections since they're all over the world. And I was sharing about your idea about having, drinks with Dale. And just having that and having everybody after work to meet together online. And, but that came out of this. And I didn't realize that, this is what NSA is about. How do we have this kind of experience and get our minds thinking about how do we monetize this experience? How do we make sure that the more I'm reading people's stories about flying around the country and the disasters that they're having and flying around, the more I got stuck here for 5 hours, and it does not sound cool. It doesn't even sound a little bit hip. It sounds miserable. And to run after, that we could create this connection. It's like I keep on waiting for Mary to touch her nose over there or something like that. This connection makes it so real. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're
And
here
this,
and we're real.
and this technology is at the very, very beginning of what it's going to be. So the
Oh,
more we can learn about it now, the more prepared we're going to be for when it really, really works and is really first class.
Right. I 100% agree with you. And I also think, I noticed that none of us are under 25. Or under, Phil, I don't know how old you are, but I'll say under 25.
14.
How much?
Just
14?
14, yeah.
Okay.
no,
No, I'm
she meant
40.
not how old you act. She asked how old you are.
I'm not that smart. I'm sorry, Liz. That was a trick question.
So here's something that's really interesting tonight. My son, who's 27, and his fiance, who's 26, they just came to bar chairs because they're having 14 people over their house to have a LAN party. So they've organized with them, so they'll all have their computers and their headphones, and they'll be playing games. But they're also having a group in India together, a group in Holland that are all hooking up, and they're all going to be in each other's homes having this party. But it's going to be their computers together, and they'll be playing games all together. I
Wow.
think that we have to be aware that this experience that we are having right now, first off, I think that this group should be called the Cutting Edge Group, because notice we're the only ones here, and that we're the only ones that have been cool enough to even know what we're doing. And, oh, wait a minute, I got to show you something that I learned from all of you. Did I get it on my head yet? Never mind. I was putting my hat on my head. I've been fooling around with the hats. You know what I'm talking about, Dale?
You're already wearing one.
I know, another one on top of that. Anyway, I think that what we have to be doing is doing this and really being willing to fail and prepare and laugh through the experience, because this is what's going to make us money. Ah, I see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're right, and that's one of the reasons that this started. Is it was new technology. We needed a way to play with it and figure out how it's going to work. And then, yeah, lots of people. I know, Phil, you have a regular show that you put out every week.
Well, I did, yeah. I'm rebooting that
Oh,
for a
are you?
Central Tell show. Yeah, I gave up the Shut Up show, but yeah, for sure. Because I do think this is it, and getting more comfortable with the technology, to Dale's point, does make you much more stationary, but yet more mobile. And by that I mean you don't have to leave your office. You can still make money, right? You can work with people anywhere. My two best clients, I see them 3 or 4 times a year, and we work together every day. I don't need to get on a plane every day to see them. And even people that are here locally, I mean, seriously, this is as good or better than being face-to-face, because if it doesn't require full attention, then you don't have to give it full attention, right? It isn't always our time to talk.
Well, you know, I was last week. I was a keynote speaker here in Jacksonville for something called LeaderCast. I don't know if you all know about LeaderCast, but it's this huge, huge, huge event that's global, and the core program is in Atlanta at the Atlanta Stadium, and they brought in Malcolm Gladwell, Laura Bush, I forget, Desmond Tutu. And they were all at their places all over the country, but most of them were in Atlanta, and they had around the country at LeaderCast. I figured out, well, once I was there, was this Christian-based leadership program, and what they did was they had sites with hundreds of people in sites all over the world watching, like we're watching right now. They were watching this program, but people sitting in the audience. It was really weird. It was like having 300 people watch a big TV all together. And what was missing was whenever there was applause, the people sitting watching the TV didn't applaud. But they would all eat together, and it was actually 5 hours of lecture that they had of all these different speakers, and everybody there spent $145 to have that experience.
Wow.
And they did it worldwide. I mean, every country and every city in every country had a LeaderCast program going on. So I think that, and when I saw these were big leaders that were even in my hometown watching it, what I realized was, first off, you really have to know how to do what we're doing. You really have to know how to be relatable through the visual, through this box. That was so clear. The people that didn't know how to do that just looked boring. And they were on big screens, but it was the same kind of experience. The second thing that I realized is that they also launched an online university. Like we're seeing all these people, the virtual training solutions, the Lightspeed, things like they launched their own also on this big forum. So I think that, Dale, you're 100% right that this is what's happening. This is what they're getting used to seeing. This is what our corporate leaders are experiencing. This is what they want to see. And like Dale, you could be doing your thing from where you are. If somebody had a camera at a stage and you're watching it, you could say, I can be there, I can watch everything and still come back live on your big screen, and I'll be from my hometown.
Yep. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah, right there.
And I really think that is a viable, phenomenal solution. We built in our house, and it cost me less than $100 to build a studio here. That we started. We went to that Platform Labs place, and we saw that not the Platform Labs, the one that was in Tampa, the Leverage Lab. And they had this guy Cartone that said that he just was posting videos on his on his YouTube site. He never watches them again. He just posts them. He has thousands of them up, and we just started copying him. It's been amazing that through this virtual piece that is not perfect, so not perfect, is getting gigs for us. But I want to do, and that's why I'm here today, is I want to keep on having this experience so that I can now say to my group, let's do it. Everybody join me. We're going to fail miserably. Let's just have fun failing together through this new technology.
Cool. Well, I'm glad. Oh, we didn't hear that, Mary.
Who just joined us?
That's Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Oh.
Good
wait.
afternoon, everybody.
Oh, there you are. So we are a little bit over time. I appreciate everybody being here today. As always, once the broadcast stops, you're welcome to stay and chat for a bit. Our next hangout will be June 9th. We will be recapping the Publishing Lab, and I heard great things about the Publishing Lab, so I'm excited about that. So that's our next one, June 9th.
That's on a Monday?
No, it's a Friday.
June 9th? No.
June 9th. Should be right. I'm pulling up my calendar now.
June 6th is a Monday. Is a Friday. June 6th is a Friday.
Okay, I may have that wrong. Then let me look. I'm sorry, I lied. It's June 13th. So thank
Friday
you.
the 13th. Yeah, that'll be good.
Friday the 13th. We'll see you in June. But until then, I appreciate you being with us, and we'll see you on the 13th, if not then at convention. Thanks, everybody.